Hi, I have in front of me here a CCTV kit with the option to add on up to 8 cameras, okay? So what we've done on this particular kit is we've used the modular format as much as possible, so to give people a very basic kit and then to add on cameras that exactly match their needs, okay? To keep it as simple as possible, and then indeed give you the option of adding on additional cameras in the future if you need to. Okay, so what we've done here is, the basic thing here is we have an IQ DVR here, which you can see. So I'm just going to move this box out of the way and we'll just focus on what's at the contents inside this DVR box. So what we have here is a DVR itself. You can just see the front of the DVR, and it comes with a user manual with a CD, batteries, and also this mouse. And then we have a remote control and a power unit as well. And if I rotate around and look at the back of the actual DVR itself, we'll say we have inputs from up to 8 cameras here, and then we have an output here. We can connect the output from here to a TV using either a BNC connector here or a VGA connection here, which we use to normally connect it to a monitor, okay? And we can also see there's inputs here down on the bottom for audio as well. So what I'll do here is, in the front here we have a 1 terabyte hard drive. So this DVR by default will come with this internal hard drive fitted and also formatted, okay? So there'll be more or less an operation of plug and play. On top of that then, what we need is an 8-way splitter, which I have here. And this takes the power from this power unit here, and what it can do is it can split it, and we'll take one feed from here and we can use it to power the DVR, and we can use the other ones here to actually power the cameras, okay? So what I'm just going to do is just drop this down here, and I'm going to move the DVR out of the way, and I'm going to show you the other options that come with this. Okay, so the next thing we'll have here is we have to look at the options of what cameras we're going to use. So from the pull down menus that are available on the kit on the website, you can actually come along, and the first camera we'll look at here is this 20-meter IR bullet camera. So IR means it's infrared and has a range of 20 meters. So what we do here is we can simply connect this directly to the DVR using the cable that's supplied with it, which in this case is a 20-meter cable, and it has a BNC connection here to run the picture from the camera back to the DVR, and it also here has a 2.1 millimeter power jack. So what we can actually use it here is to run the power from the power unit I displayed earlier directly to power this camera. So if we decided to go for a higher spec camera, it would be exactly the same cable that would come with it by default. So simply by selecting the camera, this cable will come with it. If we come along here and look, this particular camera here is a 30-meter dome IR camera, okay? And it's vandal resistant, so it simply means that we can fix it to a set location. And this camera, unlike the last camera which was fixed focus, this is varifocal, so we can actually adjust the zoom and also the focus on this particular camera to zoom in on a particular location. So the disadvantage of this camera is it's somewhat more expensive, but it obviously gives a better range and a higher definition picture. And then at the very top of the range, we would have cameras such as this, which would be our 50-meter IR bullet camera. So this is the most expensive of the cameras that we offer as a fixed option with this kit. This generally, because of its higher resolution and longer range, would be aimed towards a driveway. So what we would normally be doing is we'd have a mix of these cameras inside a single kit. So we'd have we'll say around the house maybe we'd have a mix of bullet or the smaller dome cameras, and we'll have the larger dome camera aimed out towards the driveway, and they would all just feed into a single DVR then. So sometimes it's best, we'll say, to buy a DVR that's larger than your current needs, but it's modular, so it means that, we'll say, if we're planning to put a hard drive in it now, a terabyte, we can just simply add on different cameras. So if we're having a full range of cameras, you might have a recording for maybe about a week or so, but if we have a smaller number of cameras, it gives us the option to be able to add on cameras at a later point. So what possible extras could we buy with this? Well, I'm just going to give an overview here of a few basic things. So the first thing is I'm going to just cover the topic of a power unit, which we have here. So you might want to buy a separate power unit, and also this 5-way splitter here. And you might need this for two reasons. If you go for very high spec cameras, the higher spec the camera, normally the larger the power requirement. So if we looked at the DVR there, it comes with a 3-amp power supply. Now the very simplest cameras you can buy normally will have a requirement of only 100 milliamps or maybe 200 milliamps. So it means you can supply a very large number of them. But if you go for the very high spec cameras, you might need additional power units on it. So what we're saying here is it's advantageous maybe to look at the option listed in the associated products of this power unit here, which is 2-amp power unit, and this 5-way splitter, which once again can power up to 5 cameras. And depending on the layout of your building, it might be preferable to do that as well, in terms you want to power the cameras from a local source. So just put that out of the way for a moment. And then the other two options I want to display to you here is simply how to connect the DVR to your television. You can simply come along with this very simple kit that we put together. It's made up of 3 components basically. There's a BNC to BNC adapter here, there's a BNC to phono cable, and then there's an RCA to SCART adapter. And it simply means we can connect this cable directly off the back of a DVR and connect it straight into a television. So it's a very, very simple cable, and it allows you to connect the output from the DVR onto a TV directly. And it's quite a popular little kit that we sell, and at quite low cost. And then the final thing is, if you're going to be using a VGA cable directly off of the DVR, what you might require here is the following, which is just a straightforward monitor. In this case, it's an LG LED monitor, 18.5 inches, roughly 47 centimeters, and you can just use that as a display, so you can pull up and look at the various cameras. So that's it anyway, an overview of the CCTV kit that can support up to 8 cameras.